I'm not doing that. Okay. Well, the obvious answer here is to help out Adelaide. You know, she's the one that seems like she has all the righteousness behind her. And it seems like that colony is thriving. On the other hand, it does seem like there's some availability in choosing Reed because stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those moral dilemmas of we have two communities that are not necessarily doing anything wrong. And it's which side do you think is the best side or the least wrong side? And if I were to be honest here, oh, you know what? I didn't ask him why didn't he grow vegetables. I've asked him that. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So let's try to think of possibilities here. If I redirect to the botanical laboratory, pretty much everybody in Edgewater is probably going to die. Some of them might be able to migrate to the botanical. Most of them will probably die. If I relocate from the botanical library or laboratory, then they'll have to go back to Edgewater pretty much. But they could also bring over some of their knowledge about what they've done, and maybe they'll, thrive. Reed doesn't really seem like a bad guy. He's just doing what's necessary to do things, but, maybe a little misguided and a little too much gratitude towards Spacer's choice. I think I would rather have the loyalty of Spacer's choice right now than I would the botanical. I'm redirecting power to Edgewater. Okay. Botanical laboratory power regulator is now safe to remove. Edgewater Saltuna Cannery is now operating at optimal capacity. Additional structural damage detected. Permanent power failure detected at Botanical Laboratory. Blatant disregard for Spacer's Choice property has been logged. Please report yourself to your designated supervisor for immediate reprimand. Can do. Actually, one more thing that I wanted to do before I left. It was come back over here. Now comes the power. I didn't think I had to convince them to return now. They are definitely going to fight me. Need to take out the machine gun. they gonna want to fight me.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
I seen you wandering around here. You don't look like you're coming from town.
I'm passing through.
Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Never too late to start learning. I could give you a couple of pointers.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
You mentioned 2 pads. What about the 3rd?
I wish I knew. I wager the town had the full set once upon a time. Where the 3rd's gone, I can't say.
Let you know if I find anything.
Would you? I'd be grateful.
Journal. Saw a cool cipher from Crypt that had a bunch of YouTube rappers on it. Surprisingly good. One of your favorite bars was, check out my Switch mag. Get a Glock, put a Joy-Con where the clip at. And when you twitch, I'll be screaming at chat, or at the chat. Clip that. You know, that's actually pretty good. Wow. That's a pretty good one. We found the 3rd volume. Log on the receptionist desk at the geothermal plant. Mentioned there might be a volume in the plant's repair bay. According to a note you found in the repair bay, there's a copy of the manual down in a place called the Pit. Okay, but what about the other 2? One volume is set in the local community center. Community center's over there. They searched that place pretty heavily.
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it.
Zoe says she fought her way out of a marauder camp with her own bare hands.
I don't see Zoe here. Okay, let's do a side quest. The pit. Kind of wish you had more time for rapping. All right, calm down. Everybody has time for rapping. Looks like it's upstairs. I guess I cannot fast travel out of this place. There is so much time for rapping when you're... Man, so what I used to do, not necessarily rapping, but writing, was when I was going to community college, I would take the bus. And that's when I did most of my writing. Never like recited anything, but oh. I wasn't a rapper, or trying to be a rapper. It was mostly creative writing projects. Like, I'm gonna write a poem. Going to be an amazing poem. Messages from Hobson. Yeah. Interesting. It hacked. Theodore buried last night. Reed asked me not to report his death in our quarterlies. Sounds fair to me. Was asked to prepare a statement or something for the other workers. Been thinking about it. Don't know what to tell them. Don't end up like Theodore. Do your work, show up, wear a smile, and you'll get your medical privilege. It's a start. I gotta go into the other side. So you could come up with cool bars like that one. One you came up with, you'll lyrically bash your head against the church organ. And then you'll go ahead and smash your pumpkin like Billy Corgan. Alright. I have no idea who Billy Corgan is, but I'm sure that's a great double. The office. Alright. I've found all of your thingamabobbers. Finding that last one would have been obnoxious.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
Today's your lucky day.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
Part 1.
Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me.
Got more.
Well, don't keep me in suspense.
Part 2.
Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment.
Are now revering?
Well, don't keep me in suspense.
The Elusive Part 3.
The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati. I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Have a look. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. So this is where things get awkward. Two, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Do that. For the rap battle that Dante and I did a bar that, you know, it's up to the individual person if it's a good bar or not. But I was intrigued by it, I suppose. Let me see. I think I said, I can't remember it exactly, but I believe it was like, we're deep in space, we 9 look to Cisco, like Kanye surrounded by Cardassians, where'd faith go, or something like that. And, you know, obviously a Deep Space Nine reference, but Cardassians, which are an enemy or an antagonist in Deep Space Nine, kind of sounds like Kardashians. You know, they're kind of even spelled in a similar way. And so I was like, hey, you know, I like the sound of that. I rocked with that. This is what I got. Mod stuns and damages melee attackers. This effect has a cooldown. You're not telling me what the cooldown is, though. Just wonderful. Alright, let's do this. Weapon is out. Do a hard save.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it?
These are not the answers I would have liked to give. My reasoning definitely aligns more with one. If these people go back and implement their techniques, it's possible that the town could survive. So I guess I'll go with Reed needs his people back.
You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management.
What happened to you, Adelaide? All this anger had to come from somewhere.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Willing to deal with Reed for you.
You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together.
Reed isn't going to just leave his post. I'll need some help convincing him.
Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
What? Holy cow, did I call that one? Holy cow, did I call that one? Oh man, see? It's not so simple. You can't just make the decisions and think, oh, you know, this place is totally great. You know, it's totally great. Because there's always something that you're not being told yet. She's Alright. Hold on. What happens when you run out of corpses?
Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
I wasn't done.
Look at that. The snakes come back.
I wasn't done. Alright, no reloads. Matter of fact, we're just gonna save right here. I have a feeling if I do this, he's going to attack me. Oh, okay. He did not.
Look at that.
Okay. Convince the deserters to let's see. Remove Reed from Edgewater. Adelaide refuses to return to Edgewater unless Reed is out of the picture. Her people will follow her back to town if she returns. Like that bar, actually. You remember when we were doing the Blizzard disc? You think you had the line, "You're like Barry Allen getting fried, a flash in the pan." Yeah, yeah. When?
Hope Adelaide's okay.
She's okay for now.
Food's bound to spoil at this rate.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all.
You won't survive without power. It's time to go back to Edgewater.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again.
So don't work at the cannery. You wanted to be an engineer.
You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her.
Why's that?
Adelaide hates Edgewater, hates everything Edgewater stands for, hates what that town does to people, what it did to her. We're the nearest she's got to kin. We go back to Edgewater, we may as well have stuck a knife in her heart.
Well, at this point, we're in a negative circle here. There's no good choices at this point. Edgewater's dying because of necessities, basically. And over here, as soon as crops become low, there's going to be some sort of tribunal or who's going to die so that they can fertilize the crops, you know? It's one of those, do you want to live and do you want to suffer? You know, suffer, I guess, as you live, or live a decent life knowing that you're killing people, or that you're basically eating people, you know, because the people are making the plants grow. Leave Adelaide behind then. Edgewater needs you.
Are you sure about this? If we head back to Edgewater on our own, Adelaide won't come with us. She'll stay here and curse us till the end of her days.
I'm sure. You're better off in Edgewater. Let Adelaide stay here.
I expect we got no choice. Edgewater needs us back, and loath as I am to admit it, we need Edgewater. You okay with this, Grace?
My affairs are all settled. Thanks for helping me with Zoe.
Just give us some time to gather our personals and say our goodbyes. If you run into Reed, you tell him we're coming back, yeah?
Take care. Yeah, I don't trust Adelaide. She was probably seasoning the saltunas with human corpses too, for all I know. The sucker. I can't believe I got that like random guess right too. This is why I love making predictions. Sometimes you're right, even if you make the craziest and wildest of predictions.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts?
Adelaide won't come back to town, but her followers will.
That's good enough for me. Adelaide and I have a history. Was unlikely she'd ever come back. But hope springs eternal. We are in your debt. I am authorizing you for a discount on all official Spacer's Choice products, courtesy of the people of Edgewater.
Wait, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
By all means.
I met a worker by the name of Thomas. He says he wants to be an engineer.
Thomas. Thomas Kemp? I remember him. Had to write him up for daydreaming a few too many times.
He's a decent mechanic. Parvati will vouch for him.
He tries real hard, Mr. Thompson. This is something he wants to do. That'll make him twice as good.
You may be right. And with the town set to grow, it is time I invested in a new mechanic.
You have your workers back. What happens now?
This whole fiasco is not one I am keen on repeating. I was too hard on my own workers. I pushed them to their breaking point.
Good for you.
With more hands at the cannery, I expect productivity will rise. I expect we'll grow. And I expect I can ask corporate to send us some more medicine. We'll survive, one way or another.
All right, I'm out. All right. All right. That was actually... I would actually consider that, quote, the good ending. And that's pretty messed up. They were literally digging up corpses from the graveyard just to make them into fertilizer. Yeah. 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 She's definitely crazy.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
I've convinced your flock to go back. They're returning to their posts.
Good for them. I'm glad. Back to the old cannery with Grace and Thomas and Stefan and all the others. I expected it'd end like this. Lived out here for years all by my lonesome. Only right that I'd die the same way. I expect you've done enough for the Vale. If you don't mind leaving an old lady with her thoughts, I'd be much obliged.
I don't even think I want to say that, but I'm going to say it. Even if she does go back, she's just going to probably try an assassination attempt or something. Not too late. You can go back to Edgewater.
It is too late, and I'm tired of talking.
And I'm tired of listening. And, all right, goodbye, Adelaide. I know I said that I wasn't going to be doing reloads and things like that, but, you know, science.
Don't mess with us.
Oh, wow. The Professor Half Lens. A plus to medical. Critters are now under... Oh, okay. We lost a lot of reputation. Not that I necessarily care, you know. I was just doing it for science. How do I see reputation? Here we go. Revering. Best employee ever. Deserves a big bonus and a promotion. Ah. Well, you can do that. Interesting. Okay. Honestly, I should kill her, but whatever. What are we at here? Wow, just 16%, huh? Okay. Yeah, this feels like the best of both worlds. She should die.
Leave me be. Got nothing to say to you.
And I should kill her, but oh well. Let me go see if Home Chick Slice actually came back. I don't see her anywhere. Alright, I should be able to loot this place. But he's outside. I guess it's sealed because they have no power. Yeah. That. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. All right. Well, wasn't that interesting? Check out all this. All right, yeah, we only got one quest left. Chick Slice still here? Nope.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
I can understand not wanting to go back. You didn't seem happy in Edgewater.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
Are you sure Reed won't mind you leaving with me?
I know. Mr. Thompson said I was to chaperone you about the Veil. Loan me out to you like I was Spacer's Choice property. Well, they may think I am, but I'm not. Yeah, Mr. Thompson's got a temper. But I'm more scared of missing out than I am of him. I don't want to lose my one chance at seeing the stars.
You just met me. Why do you want to go into space with a stranger?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Edgewater was on the verge of collapse before you showed up. You sent them power, and now the town might see another season. You didn't know those deserters a thing, but you helped them anyway. Made sure they had a home to come back to. You ain't exactly a stranger anymore. You done some kindness hereabouts. I wouldn't mind following somebody like that.
Really want out of Edgewater that badly?
Yeah, I really do. My whole life's been small. I realized that when you walked into town. I've been seeing the same faces every day, the same sky, the same stars. Then I saw this ship. This gorgeous, stately lady with her eyes turned skyward, and I made up my mind to come along with you.
All right. Be glad to have you along. Pick a cabin. It's yours.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
She's a sucker, but I don't mind having her in the squad.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room. By verity, by strength. What are we contemplating today?
I'd like to know something about those I'm flying with. What's your story?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition.
Violently enthusiastic disposition?
That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town, much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them.
I don't like this music right now. Not like this guy is evil. Why were you so passionate about it?
My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
But they weren't proud when you became a vicar, at least.
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me.
You can't help but follow the plan, then everything you do is part of it, right?
The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it, whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction.
I'll talk to you later. Why do I have to break into my own lockers? I mean, I know it's not my ship, but still. Parvati, I need you to fix this. It's unacceptable.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
I have the power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
I'll be back. I'll be back. Warp field stabilized. Vocational competence respecification machine. Choosing to respec refunds all of your perks and points, then you can spend them a different way. The price of a respec will increase each time you use the machine. No. But I'm glad that there's a respec option. I wish the first one was free though, because again, like I was forced into a position of making a character when I did not understand. Forced into a position of making a character based off of terminology that I did not have any knowledge of. And now I'm at the point where I have some experience with that terminology and have some knowledge of how things work. And, you know, would like to reallocate to match the needs that I would want.
What can I do for you, Captain?
I've installed the power regulator.
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
I wonder if there's anybody else in Edgewater that I can recruit. Let's get out of here.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Good. I've been waiting to hear from him.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
Never been better.
Good, great, excellent. Let's move on. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Culkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Why do I need a nav key to land on a planet?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Culkelly.
Can't I land somewhere outside of Stellar Bay?
In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Culkelly.
About this Gladys person, how do I know I can trust her?
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
What's stopping me from leaving Halcyon altogether?
Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope.
Fine, I'll go have a work with Gladys.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
You want to explain what a holographic shroud is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
You mentioned this thing has limitations.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Why do we need a gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform or something?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
How the heck does a hologram sweeten your breath?
Science, that's how.
I would have liked a science answer there of no, that's not possible. Put it to good use, thanks.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Got it. Alright, holographic shroud projects a disguise on you and your companions that give you access to restricted areas, provided you have the correct ID cartridge for that area. Restricted areas are off limits to unauthorized personnel and otherwise result in being attacked on sight. Okay. I had thought it was going to be something where I could, like change my appearance if I didn't like what my appearance was. Adelaide's deserters dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson. Never dream. I guess I did. Did I mark? I don't think I marked. That would be a good time to mark. I've never been up here. There is also a Sam here.